Everyone, this is Suganthan, the product expert of Zoho Survey. Thank you one and all for joining this session. In today's webinar, we'll be looking at what Zoho Survey could really help in impacting your business takeover to the next level. So what are the things that you can take away from this tool and how better you can utilize it for your business requirements? That's all we'll be looking at. And we'll also be having a live demo during this session. So before we begin, the entire session you'll be on mute only, so you can't really speak, but you can always post your questions on the Q&A session that's on your left. So we have a panel of experts available who will be able to assist with all your queries. And yes, towards the end of the session, we'll have a dedicated Q&A session. So if there's anything that's been unattended, we'll try to cover that during the session. So yeah, once again, one and all, thanks for joining this session. Myself, Suganthan from the Zoho Survey team with over a decade of experience. So in today's session, we'll have like a short introduction about what Zoho Survey does and what are the key features that you can use in our tool. And during the demo, we'll try to create a survey under 10 minutes to help you understand how to kickstart your program if you're new to this platform, and what are the options that you can explore in terms of the features. And finally, when data comes in, what are the things that you can look at into the analytics point of view. So this is all about the topics that we'll be covering today. And maybe if you want to take a quick screenshot of it, yes, you can. So this is all the things that we'll be concentrating more towards today. All right, let's jump into every single of these options in depth. Why should we set up a logic? A logic is something where you don't want to stick to from question 1 to question 10 in the same format. Maybe you want to personalize the question depending on the answer choices. Yes, it can be done. Or maybe you want to show or hide the relevant questions. It can also be done with the help of logics. It's not just about showing or hiding the questions alone. In fact, you can even hide some of the answers or show some of the answer choices. Maybe let's say if someone gives you a positive rating, you could hide a couple of choices in the follow-up questions as well. So there are many ways to do that. Or depending on certain categories, you want to redirect them to different pages to add relevant questions. I mean, to answer different set of questions, that can also be done. But if in case you're looking to do some extensive market research, then you can first qualify your audience to see whether they match your requirements and both of you are on the same page. And then you can take it forward, because we don't really need the responses who are not relevant to us. And all of these options may not be done with our traditional paper pen method surveys or forms. So that's the reason why you can look for online survey applications which can do these simple steps, but that really creates an impact to get better results out of it. So what are the key advanced features? And if you wonder the introduction hasn't been done, we'll do that a bit later. That is during the live demo. So what are the key advanced features? You can translate the surveys into other languages. That is, reach out to the audience in the language that they understand the most. If you're looking about regional languages or the commonly spoken languages, whatever it is possible to be done with Zoho Survey. Um, so when you translate the surveys into other languages, and when they open up the survey, it could actually open up in their preferred language. If they had set their browser default language, for reference in French, the survey is going to automatically open up in French. So that really helps in improving the response rates towards your survey form. And maybe you have a huge set of questions in your survey form, and you really don't have the time to evaluate the answers manually one by one. You can assign scores to the right answers. It's not just for test kind of purpose. Maybe you just want to quickly derive whether they have uh, enter the answers that you desire or not. You can assign scores and take quick insights out of it, like what is the total score. Or you can even have relevant end pages depending on the scores. That is also possible. And you can also pass on some hidden informations along with the URL of the survey. That is to auto track who it is, or maybe you want to track on which particular page these kind of traffic has come from. So you can have unique URLs for each of those concepts. And finally, get all those data segmented within your analytics. When we talk about surveys, branding is one of those aspects that is really important. And when we talk about branding, all we think is the way it looks like or the logos being added. But it doesn't just stop there. You also need to make sure the URL of the link is from your domain. That actually increases or improves the trust from your customer's point of view or your employee's point of view, that they feel that this is from this organization, and they don't really need to worry about whether it's a spam or phishing, something. So whatever you're trying to do or get the data, first build the trust among them. So try to host the surveys on your subdomain to make sure there's no relevance to any other applications except your brand. And you can also get notified via email when someone gives you a reply, or maybe based on certain conditions, like if there's a negative rating, you want to be notified immediately, or maybe your team needs to be notified, it can be done so that you can quickly jump on it and fix what went wrong with them. In terms of the settings features, what we really do is when we talk about surveys, it's really good to have an introduction page to it so that you help your respondents understand the purpose of the survey before you directly jump into the actual questions. And you can also set up terms and conditions if it's more relevant for you so that you can avoid any kind of legal aspects that may arise in future. And yeah, the landing pages can be designed based on the response or some default landing pages. Both can be achieved. So yeah, it can also be done. So what are the ways that you can use to reach out to your audience? We have few options inbuilt. One is like by default, we give you a public link. So you can share that link with your audience using any tool of your choice. Or if you're looking to reach out to them via email, then we have inbuilt email options as well. So you just need to upload the list of contacts to whom the survey needs to be sent, and we take care of triggering it out as per your need. You can schedule it, or you can send it right away. There are multiple ways, or maybe you want to trigger via API. That is also doable. We also give you this option to restrict duplicate entries when it's been sent by our inbuilt tool. And yeah, it can still be achieved if you're using any other tool of your choice, but a few other parameters needs to be checked. So if you're using our inbuilt tool, it's way more easy. In a single click, you can get it done. So you don't really get duplicate entries out of it. If you wonder why would someone really give you duplicate entries, it depends on the kind of surveys. Maybe you're rewarding your respondents with some coupons, then everyone is greedy to get an extra $10 coupon. So that's how it works. It depends purely on the case to case. And if required, you can set it up. And if in case you're looking to capture responses, but you're running out of time, you can rely on our research panel. So you can just choose the right set of demographics and get the data out of it. It's not just for getting or running out of time. Maybe you're exploring a new market where you're looking to expand your business. You can directly reach out to the right audience on the specific market with the right categories. Like maybe you're looking to target the gender male under 30, that is 18 to 30, and gender female from 30, I mean 25 to 30. You can actually specify these options, and then you can further qualify them, like maybe what kind of education background they need to be, should they be a working professional or not, and so on. There are many options that is available within that. So you can filter it out and then reach out to the right audience and better understand what do they think, whether your product is the right fit for the market, or your service will add more value to the existing market that is suffering a lot or something. Because it's not really a good choice to just go and launch and then see whether it's going to work or not. You're just going to spend a fraction of the money that you're actually looking to invest in a new market. So better understand the market and then try to launch your services or your product over there. You can also embed the surveys on your websites, or maybe you want to bring it up as a pop-up survey. That can also be done. So these are some of the ways that you can basically um, get it done to reach out to your audience. And once people start getting your links, they are going to start answering your survey form. So once people start answering, all the data will reach out to the report section of our survey. And within reporting, we give you a few options. One is like summary of responses. The other would be the individual. And we have a newly way of analyzing that is dashboards. So there are multiple ways, and you can also create filters, or you can come up with trend reports. So it's basically to uh, ease the job of analyzing the data that you get. So by default, we are going to give you graphical representation of all the closing questions to take quick insights out of it. Or maybe if it's a rating scale or a star rating, you get an average rating as well by default in it. And you can obviously export all these data into a PDF, into a spreadsheet or a CSV, SPSS, or maybe you want it as a Tableau extract. Yeah. And you can also integrate the survey applications with other applications for reference, Zoho Analytics or Power BI, Google spreadsheets, anything you name it, it can be done with our tool. And if you're looking to work as a team, then enterprise setup is for you. So you can create multiple departments within the account. That is one for the sales, one for the marketing, one for the HR. And then you can add the appropriate members into each of this department, and they'll be able to create surveys or view the surveys that is already available. So there are multiple levels of permissions that you can assign them to, and depending on that, they'll be able to access it. But as a super admin, you'll have complete control about all the surveys in all the department, and that's how you manage a team for survey specifically who's going to create or analyze the data on various departments. And when it involves multiple members, it's really important to keep a track about what kind of actions being made by each of the users. So for that, we have audit logs available. So it keeps a complete track about every single user for the past 180 days. So if in case something went wrong in the past, you can just go and check what went wrong at what particular date of time so that you can uh, take further actions on it. All right, it's time for a live demo. So when we talk about surveys, Zoho Survey, it's a one-stop solution to build your own customized surveys. With Zoho Survey, you can build any kind of surveys that you're looking at. It could be a customer satisfaction or event-based related surveys or healthcare surveys, non-profit organizations. You name any, we can get it done. So it's not specifically like you can just do one service at a time. Not really. You can do multiple surveys without any restrictions. Again, it depends on the type of license that you hold. So if you're an existing CRM Plus or a Zoho One user, then survey is included in it by default. And if you're not part of the bundle, you can opt for a standalone license of Zoho Survey as well at a fraction of its cost. We also offer free plans, so you can look for the plans that is more relevant for you depending on the features that you may need. So when we talk about surveys, we give you a few options by default. One is to create a new survey right from the scratch. So you can just give it a name, select a category, and create it. The other options are like to import a survey. So if you have your survey questions ready in a Word document, you can directly import those document over here, just select it and you get it done. So how to get it formatted? So you just need to have the questions in this way, and we are going to turn it out automatically in this way. So that's very easy, and these are the rules that you need to actually follow. So when you're free, you can just have a look at it so that you can quickly take the questions available on a notepad or a document to be auto created over here. Or if that's a bit complicated for you, just copy paste your content over here and we build the survey for you automatically. The other options are to choose from templates. We have various templates available on various categories. So you can just look for one that is more relevant for you and further modify the questions to your taste. Or you want to delete some of the questions or add few more questions, everything can be done over here. Since it's a live demo, we'll try to create a survey right from the scratch. So we'll give it a name for the survey. For reference, let's say CSAT. CSAT is nothing but customer satisfaction survey, and the category is customer satisfaction. Click on create. So this is the editor where we are going to add questions on the survey form. So on your left, these are all the question types that we have. So we have like 30 different types of questions to choose from. And when we talk about a survey, it's good to have an introduction to it. So to add an introduction, get into the settings and choose introduction page on the left and configure it and frame your context like welcome. Please take a few minutes to help us understand where we stand. You can also include images or embed a video as part of the introduction and click on save. Just below that, you'll have the terms and conditions as well. You can configure the terms and conditions. If there's anything applicable, you can just configure it over here and save it. Coming back to the editor, now, if you want to start adding the questions to your survey form, so just choose the right questions on your left. For reference, I'll just begin with a rating scale, something like how satisfied are you with our product or service. You can label it like 1 being like most unlikely and 5 being excellent. And you can also choose the representations. Maybe you want it as numbers, smileys. If in case smileys, you can also decide how the smileys need to look like and save it. As simple as that. Now, maybe you want to have a multiple choice question. You have two options. One is like one answer where they can just select one choice, or many answer like they can select more than one choice. So what did you like the most about the experience? You can have the options entered one below the other, like features, customer service, value for money, and product design. You can even force them to answer these questions by marking it as mandatory so that they don't skip these questions. And maybe an NPS question, a net promoter score, like how likely are you gonna recommend us to your friends or family? You can have the labels again, or you can even leave it empty. It's not mandatory to use it. So for the representations, you have multiple options. Maybe I'll use a box kind of thing and save. So what if in case someone gives you negative rating, that is 0 to 6, you want to understand what went wrong, you can have a follow-up question just below that using an open-end field, that is a long answer field, and have like, please explain, or please let us know how we could improve. Try to be polite, irrespective of what the situation is, so that you don't really offend them. So we have just added another question below that, but that doesn't mean that it's gonna be a proper kind of thing that arrives only for a negative rating. So we need to add a condition to the specific question. So in order to do that, get into display logic and add a condition, that is display this question only if a certain condition is met. Now the condition is, how likely are you going to recommend us to your friends or family? And if it gets a value lesser than 7, that is 0 to 6, then this question is going to be displayed. So you see a small icon over here. This is just for your reference. And if I give you a quick preview, how the survey is going to look like, this will be the introduction page. And these are all the questions. If it's a positive rating, well and good. If it's a negative rating, you come up with a follow-up question. So the surveys that you create in our tool, it's fully compatible across all the devices. This is a desktop view, and this is a tablet device view, and this is going to be a mobile device view. So irrespective of what device your audience may use, we auto-fit the screen to make sure they have the best experience to answer it. So this is as simple as that. So by default, the responses will be anonymous. So you can't really identify who it is. But if you want to identify, there are multiple ways. One is to directly ask for the name, email, or contact number. Or the other ways are like to uh, trigger the surveys out via the inbuilt email tools, and we auto capture those details for you. So in order to add names or something, just use the full name, just drag and drop it to the right and click on save. So does for the emails, you can do this as well, like please enter your email. Maybe you want to personalize the name in the question text. You can do in this way as well, like hello, and use the insert variable and insert their first name. So whatever they type as the first name, that will be pre-filled over here, like hello Rahul for reference. That name will be pre-filled over here. As simple as that. And you can also allow your respondents to upload files as part of the answers using the file upload question type. So you can just frame it like, for reference, please upload the evidence. And it supports any kind of files with a maximum size of 10 MB per file. And with a single file upload question, you can allow them to upload up to 5 different files as part of their answer choice. So it's just 10 MB per file, not 10 MB together. So make sure you click on save. That's it. So you can spread the surveys into multiple pages as well. Maybe if the number of questions are going to be more than 5 or more than 10, we highly recommend you to spread the surveys into multiple pages. Just click on this plus. You can add a title or a description, or just leave it empty and start adding the next set of pages. You can have logics being done, that is like page skip logic. You can even add certain conditions. Now, let's say if you have 3 pages on your survey form, and if someone says like how satisfied your product gets a value lesser than 4, that is 1, 2, and 3. Maybe if you don't want to uh, take further insights about it on page 2 and 3, you can directly end their survey when they complete the first page of the survey form. Or maybe you want to take better insights out of it, have the questions that is relevant to the services that were not being satisfied to them, add those questions on page 2 and set it up in this way and click on save. So they'll be taken to page 2. And what you also need to do is, for the people who are actually satisfied with their products, for them page 2 is not required. So what you can do is go to the page skip logic again, and the default flow should not go to the page 2. Instead, if you have page 3, you can select page 3 over here and set it up. So there are multiple ways to actually design how or what kind of questions or which particular page they need to be redirected. Depending on that, you can frame your question. So this is all about how you basically create a survey out of this, and what are the things that you can achieve in terms of the features. You can have a logo added to your survey form, just upload it on from your system. And what is the name of the survey that you would like to display on the header? So CSAT is just for our reference. I'll use my brand. You can use your brand on the header. And for the photo aspect as well, you can customize it, something like this. And under preferences, you can enable the page progress bar if you're going to have multiple pages to your survey form, so that it better helps your respondents understand the number of pages left, so they don't really skip the survey in between, considering that it could be a way too long survey. You can numbers the questions if required, and we highly recommend CAPTCHAs to be enabled if you're looking to uh, publish your surveys on social medias. Then this really helps in preventing bots answering your survey form. And these are the name of the buttons. Maybe you want it like finish instead of submit. you can still get it done and click on save. We have languages options where you can translate the surveys into multiple languages. Just a minute, I'll quickly refresh it. Yeah. So under languages, you can translate the surveys into multiple languages. Just choose the language that you want. For reference, let's say Arabic. We give you three options. One is to use the Google Translate. Just click on Translate over here, and it's going to modify the content from English to Arabic. It's taking more time than usual. Just a minute. Maybe we'll reload it. Maybe there's slowness on my end due to which some of the features takes time to load. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay. So on the back end, it has been translated. So what you can basically do is once the content is translated in the language, you still have the option to edit the content over here. So if there's any kind of grammatical errors or something, you can definitely make changes to it. It's not just Arabic, any language that you look at, for reference, let's say French, it can be done, or maybe you're looking at Spanish or any regional language as well. For reference, let's say Tamil. You just name the language, it can be translated. So what are the other ways to translate? So I said like Google Translate is one of those ways. The other is like using the editor where you manually type the content, and the content will be available in the required language. The other options is like maybe you don't want to rely on Google, but you don't know the language either. So you can download the source on a spreadsheet and share it with your translator who can get the content translated in the same sheet. And once they do it, you'll be able to upload it back over here. So the survey is being modified or translated in the desired language. As simple as you can have multiple languages, and when someone gets it, if Arabic has been set as the default browser language, they're going to see it in Arabic. If not, they can still have the option to click on the language on the top to see what language they are more comfortable in answering the survey form. That's it. So defining the end pages is really important. That what needs to be displayed when someone completes the survey. You can frame this over here, and then maybe you want to customize it, or maybe you want them to be redirected to your website or something post they take the survey. It can be done. Or you want to define certain logics beyond that as well, like take them to the Google reviews page only when someone gives you a 10 out of 10, because I don't want to spoil my reputation on Google review platform or any other review platforms. You can get it done. So in the redirect URL page, put the URL of your review platform. So only if that condition matches, they'll be taken to the review platform. If not, it is gonna have this default end message. So this is how you basically design multiple conditions towards the end page of your survey form. Now, post that, we go to themes. Under themes, we have fully customizable themes. For reference, let's say I apply one of these themes over here. I can further edit it to my taste. So right from the background where you have this gray section, you can add some patterns, or maybe you can change the colors of it as well. And maybe if this doesn't work, you can directly upload the image that you're looking at to be added as part of your background as well. And the header is this yellow section where you have your title being displayed. Just a minute. Okay. So this is where you again play with the colors, or maybe you want to add a specific color that you're looking to add. Just get the red, green, and blue value from your design team, and you'll be able to match that color, or upload an image as part of your header as well. So if in case you add any logo on the settings of the survey, that will be visible just above this title. Yeah, depending on the size, the header can be adjusted as well. So the title size, you can define it over here. And what about the body where you have your survey questions? You can play between the spacing between the questions, the font size for the answers, for the questions, everything. And finally, you'll have footer where you have powered by surveys. You can add some colors to it as well, or maybe you want to change anything over there, it can be done. Finally, if you want to merge your survey form along with the background, just come back to general, enable the form opacity, and merge it along with it so it goes well along with it. Make sure you click on save and apply. And once you save and apply, that will be stored under my themes. So you don't really need to create the theme every single time for your future surveys. Now from here, go to launch and publish your survey. By publishing it, we are going to generate a unique link towards it. So anyone who's going to access that link, they'll be able to leave a feedback for you. And if you look into the link, it has zohopublic.com in it. So it has a reference to Zoho. So to avoid that, you can host the surveys on your subdomain. So for reference, xyz.com is a domain. Then you can host it on survey.xyz.com or forms.xyz.com. It's up to you. And you can also generate multiple links towards the same survey. Maybe you're looking to post the surveys on Instagram for reference and another one on your website. So what you can do is, in order to differentiate the data that you get across each of these platforms, you can create multiple links. So could be for Instagram, and click on save. So you're going to get another link. So if you see only this n parameter, that is 2b AAX, has been received for Instagram, the other link, the default link for the with a different parameter. So you're going to have the entire set of responses across each of these platforms in a single reporting tool by default. If in case you want to segregate the data platform wise, you can do that with the filters as well. We also give you QR codes. So if you're shipping your products to your customers, then try to have this QR code added on the packaging of this tool. So you're most likely to get a response towards it when your product is way too good or it's way too bad. But some way or the other, you have better chance to listen to your customer that what do they think about your product. So whatever the situation is, you'll be able to further dig on it and fix it, which is a win-win situation for you. You also have the inbuilt email options over here. So you can directly compose the body of your email. Everything is fully customizable over here. And to whom the survey needs to be sent, you can upload the list of contacts from a spreadsheet or a CSV. So this is the format that you need to make sure. The email to be added on the first column of a spreadsheet, that is mandatory, followed by the phone number on the second column, first name, last name on the third and fourth column. Do not switch the columns, just stick to the same thing. But if in case you don't have the phone number, then just leave the second column empty and add their first name in the third column. And any additional details you know more about them, like which state they are from, what service did they avail from you, or which product did they purchase from you, or maybe if it's an employee, you can add the employee ID, who's the reporting manager, which team they work for. So any details you add here, all these informations will be encrypted along with the survey URL. And when they answer your survey form, even without asking for it, like the name or email, you auto identify with all these parameters. And with these parameters, if you're looking to create a filter, like just segregate the data that is relevant to Instagram for reference. Now, for the Instagram users alone, you want to segregate and who belong to California for reference. So depending on these criterias, if you want to have a data, you will be able to do that. But for that, you need to feed those informations into this tool. So that's why this is the format that you need to use to add any data. Maybe you may think like this is not really required during the initial time of launch, but if you have any data that you hold, maybe not today, but someday or the other, it may be really helpful if in case you want to narrow down the data on any specific categories that you're looking at. We also have options to trigger out the surveys by SMS. That is, if you have a paid subscription with Clickatil, Twilio, or SMS Magic, any of these three platforms, then you can integrate those applications with Zoho Survey and trigger out the surveys via SMS. But that's not the case with email. It's inbuilt, but SMS is a direct integration with one of these three platforms. You can also use MailChimp or Zoho campaigns to trigger out the surveys via email. We have inline email. That is something like if you're looking to embed the survey question as part of your email body directly, that can also be done. Just select one of the questions and which specific email tool that you're looking to send out for reference, if it's Zoho Mail, or maybe you're looking at something that is not listed here, just use other mail client and generate the HTML. Just copy this HTML and add it to your email body so that this first question alone will be added to your email body. And when they click on one of the answers, they'll be redirected to the actual survey form with the remaining set of questions to be completed. But if it's a single page or a single question survey, you have the options to collect the data right away within the email body. That is, it's just gonna redirect them to the end page saying like, thank you for the response in another tab. Or you can still allow them to click on submit and complete the survey. We also have the options to embed the surveys on your website using the iframe links. Just give it to your web developer who can get the job to add it on your website. Or you want to bring it up as a pop-up, design the way it needs to look like or where exactly it needs to come up, and then generate the code and you get it over here. So this is pretty much about the launch, like what you can get it done, like what are the ways that you do. And we also have the buy response feature. For that, you don't, I mean, we don't allow you to capture any of the personal information. So you need to remove these questions from a survey. You can just ask what do they think or what kind of knowledge you want to capture from them. That is something you can get it from them, but not the personal identification. So you decide how many number of responses that you need over here, select the incidence rate, and what is the target audience, select the countries. For reference, let's say United States. In United States, what are the regions you want to, or it's span United States, no problem. If you want to further uh, dig deep into the states, you can select them as well. And then what is the gender, the age, you have the balancing options as well. What is the household income, marital status, education. So you define every single thing over here and then calculate the price. So the cost for 250 responses is going to be around 436 US dollars. That is around $1.74 per response. It purely depends on the number of questions you have, the target audience, and the more the narrow down. I mean, if you're going to dig deep into the demographics with certain aspects, the cost may go up. So that's about the research panel that we offer. And you also get an estimated date. So today is like 29 July. So in 3 days, 3 to 4 days, you're going to get the data. That's the estimated time. So when people start responding to your survey form, you get the data within the reports. So under reports, we give you summary, individual, and dashboards. I'll open up a sample survey to show you how the data looks like. So under summary, you get to know how many people clicked on a link. That is, out of those, how many have answered your surveys. And completed are like the ones who have clicked on the submit or the finish button till the end of the survey. And partial is like if they left the survey in between without completing the survey form, then they'll be considered as partial. And this is applicable only if you have more than one page to your survey form. And if it's a single page survey, then this is completely ruled out because we can't save the responses in between just like that. They have to click on the next button, at least on the page one, to save the data partially. So these are the metrics that you get by default. When you have multiple NPS questions in a survey form, you get the average of both these NPS. You, depending on the rating scale questions, you get the CSAT scores as well and the average ratings by default. So if you just scroll down a bit more, you're going to start receiving the statistics of every single closing questions in a graphical way. So you completely design the way it needs to look like. Maybe you're more comfortable with the pie chart, the color palettes, everything is customizable. And you're going to have the stats just below that, like what percentage of people chose what. And you get all these stats by default for the close-in questions. Now, what happens to the open-end question? Something like a long answer field. People may type anything as part of the answer. So it's really difficult for you to just go and check the data of every single response like what did they type or what they're trying to convey. So in order to make a job easy, we have sentimental analysis and word cloud for the open-end question. So sentimental analysis is nothing but it's going to determine the tone of the response, whether it's towards a positive, neutral, or a negative rating. Whereas a word cloud is something like it's going to quickly pull out the most commonly used words on the sentences. So this is a hospitality related survey. It tells like, please let us know what made your experience great. So people say like the service was good, the ambience was pleasant, the food tastes better. So you have better insights out of it quickly when instead of looking into the data of all 150 set of responses manually over here. So this is the summary of responses, and you can export all these data into a spreadsheet, into a PDF, or you can even view it in Zoho Sheet. Zoho Sheet, it's a straight competitor to Google Sheet, and it's a free tool as well. So just try checking out how it works for you. Under individual responses, you get to know the IP address of the respondent by default. When did they answer? How much time did they take? Followed by the answers. You can look into the data manually one by one over here. It's just a raw set of data, and you can export the data as in the required format as well. Dashboards, it's an enhanced version of the summary of responses. So you have better insights about the stats that you get across all your questions, and you can quickly look into the data side by side ways, or maybe you want to create your own customized dashboards. It can also be done. Maybe you have hundreds of questions, but you just want to look into the data of 10 different questions. Just add those 10 questions into the dashboard and have quick insights out of it. So it really uh, helps you in taking better insights compared to what you get in the summary of responses. Is that all? We also have the options to create filters. So you want to narrow down the data on certain categories. Now, let's say based on languages, you can do that. So all you need to do is first create a filter. Maybe if your service translated in Spanish for reference, you directly select that collector over here and click on save. So any responses that has been received across this particular collector, you're going to look into that separately. Or maybe you want to narrow down the data based on certain categories, like only the negative responses I want to look at, that can also be done. So just create a filter, add the condition over here, like select the question. Like if someone gave you a negative rating or something. So it's out of 10, so less than 7, and frame it like negative. I don't have any negative response for the survey, so that's why the responses are empty. And you can also look into the trend reports by weeks, by months, everything over here. I'll clear the filter for now. So by month or by quarter, I have the stats over here. I just got one response in the past quarter. So that's all about how you basically look into the surveys on various categories over here as well. And with the help of Trend, you can even quickly gain insights like if you have NPS questions or something, like you can determine what is the average NPS score across each of these months, so that on which particular month the trend has gone up and which particular month the trend has come down. You can take quick insights out of that. So this is pretty much about our tool when we talk about surveys, like what we offer. And yeah, please let us know if you have any questions on it. So we'll be happy to answer all your queries during the Q&A session. That's about it. So yeah, any questions, please post it on the Q&A. I'll be happy to answer it for you. So I have a question like how precise the translations will be. Yeah, we give you the options, like three options. One is Google Translate. So you can rely on Google to a certain extent, but if there's any kind of grammatical errors or something, we also give you the option to edit the content. If you find there's something that needs to be changed, you can definitely do that. Or if you don't want to rely on Google Translate, You can directly type the content, or you can export the document into a spreadsheet and give it to your translator, who can get the job done and upload it back to the survey, so that the content is more reliable from your aspect. Is there any AI assistant integrated which will help to create surveys for a specific use case or scenario? For now, we just have the options to upload the surveys on a document, but we are actually coming up with a feature to help you create surveys in a single prompt. So that will be available in our future updates. So stay tuned on social media channels, like just look for Zoho Survey and follow us over there. So any new launches that we do, you'll be notified on social medias, and as well as on the what's new section under your survey profile. Just click on your profile on the top right and look for what's new. You'll have the updates over there as well. You can directly do a video recording, but if you use any of your mobile or a tablet device to record a video, you can upload that video file as part of your answer in the file upload question, but not like a direct video recording within the tool. But if you want to take a picture, that can be done, not a video. Do you have default question sets for health insurance surveys? Well, sorry, we don't have that, but you can always look for one online and just try to replicate that. And yeah, if you need any assistance, reach out to us on support@zohosurvey.com. We'll be happy to assist you with that. Can we build interlocking quotas in the surveys for precise tracking and controlling sample distribution? Yes, definitely. You can assign quotas to each of the categories that you're looking at for sample collections, and have quotas being set for each collectors as well. You can define that. But if you're looking to get the responses from our audience panel, then we can set up the quotas for you on the back end as well. So reach out to us. We'll discuss further on it. Can I give access to someone in my organization to the creation of the surveys to correct or edit the translations? Definitely, yes, you can do that. All you need to do is, we have an option called as share survey. So just enter the email address on the share survey option and give them the access. But to do that, all they need to have is to register the email address with Zoho Survey. They just need to have a account with us. They don't need to have a paid version. Just a free plan will do the job. So when they get the invitation, they'll be able to look into that, and if any changes needs to be made, they can make changes for you using the share survey option. All right. So I think we tried answering all the questions, but if there's something we left or unattended, please reach out to us on support@zohosurvey.com. And please do follow us on the social media handles like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So never ever miss out an update from us. Thank you, one and all, for joining the session. I hope it was helpful. And please feel free to reach out to us anytime if you have any questions we'd be more than happy to help. Thank you. Have a great day and bye bye.